Welcome back to another episode of Coach Ani, the podcast. This is okay, the last 2 episodes, I know that I have said them completely incorrect, so I'm pretty sure this is number 10. I want to say 9, which leads me to believe this is number 10. Anyway, moving away from that. Guys, I went on vacation. I came back from vacation, but let me tell you, I've said it a few times, this is the first vacation in literally half a decade. So 5 years that I have not had to work. I have not been expected to work. I have not been expected to answer the phone or handle things or put out fires and do any of this. I, being my own boss, decided I am 100% off. To everyone who booked marketing calls with me and business calls and consulting calls, thank you for your patience and waiting to hear back. I, took a couple extra days, but oh, guys, do you know how great it is to be on vacation and not work? I'm gonna tell you how it is. It's amazing. I will never go back. Here's, what? A friend of mine put it a really, really beautiful way, that going on vacation and not working is like putting your phone to charge, but it being left on the charger, as opposed to going on vacation, and I put that in quotes because, but going quote unquote on vacation, but still having to work or answer things or deal with emergencies or all these things is you're plugging your phone in, but someone keeps unplugging it to plug their phone in. And then you have to unplug their phone to put yours back in. And then you have to unplug, then they unplug yours and then they put their back in. And it's this constant battle to where you never get recharged to 100%. Sure, you were maybe at 25% and you got up to 70%. But to get up to 70 took 3 days. Now you're already back at fucking work and you're getting drained all over again. So let me tell you guys, when I tell you that not only did I come back at 100%, my external battery was charged, it was so great. And, one thing that I have realized is it's really interesting, the life that you're able to create. And I feel I've always found different ways of okay, I feel everybody has a tick or a tell that says when they're unhappy, and I know what mine are, which I'll talk about that some other day. But something that I realized is I was so happy to come home, not because vacation wasn't fun. Let me tell you, this wedding might be literally the most beautiful wedding I've ever seen. Oh my God, it was on a cliff overlooking the ocean and then the sunset and then wow, it was holy freaking cow, right? And it was so fun, but there's something about the space that I've created at home that is just calm, even though I'm not calm. And I'm definitely teeter. My mom always says in every relationship, there's a calm and a crazy. I don't think I really have to tell you which side I teeter on. I'm obviously the crazy and my boyfriend is the calm, but we've created such a great home life and we have our 4 dogs. And I feel the energy in the house, in our home, is calm and amazing and happy. And that's something that I constantly find myself really grateful for, that especially now being self-employed and me being at home all the time. I love being here. It's never a problem. So that's just something that I know I am really grateful for. But today's topic is actually kind of perfect. It's Thanksgiving. It's not Thanksgiving, y'all. It's November, which means we're coming upon Thanksgiving. And you guys know this is the season of gratitude. And I feel people talk about gratitude a lot because, yes, it is very important. But I want to talk about it kind of in a different sense today. And that's, it's very easy to find gratitude when good things happen. Honestly, it's so easy, you win the lottery or I don't even know, but when good things happen, obviously there's gratitude found in winning the lottery, but when good things happen and when you're happy and joyful and you feel fulfilled, it's extraordinarily easy to find gratitude. You're oh my God, I find gratitude in everything. Everything is amazing. I love my life. Everything's awesome. But what about finding gratitude in the bad things that happen? Oh, I feel that's where it gets fucking tricky. And one of the reasons that I really want to talk about this is that, you guys come to me and many of you, artists, regardless of the extension method, you guys come to me, you need help with your staff, you need help with friends or kind of your personal life, or you're unsure how to do all these things. And you're just and I hear so many times, it's just so bad. It's so bad. It's so bad. And so to really give you an example, I'm working with a client of mine, and I can't really say what it is I'm NDAs, which are fine. I actually put NDAs in place with all of my clients, any that I'm working on large projects with, just to ensure that like they feel comfortable, because obviously I'm like diving deep into their business. But this client of mine, I'm helping her create an educational platform, and her branding is so, and this idea that we're working on came to her because she was working at a salon that she viewed as toxic. It wasn't really like a great place for her. She ended up getting like fired / quitting, and how it went down was kind of like, it was a little bit gnarly, like from what I know, and obviously I only know one side. I do believe there are two sides to every story, and that's coming from someone who is a side of one story, you know what I mean? And so, and, she was telling me, kind of like what happened and where this idea came from, blah, blah. But she had also expressed to me like, God, like it didn't have to be that way. It didn't have to be so nasty. It didn't have to be so mean. Like it didn't have to be that way. And I'm like, okay, yeah, but hear me out. Had you stayed at that salon, had things never happened as they happened, had you still been there, or had you left on your own devices because all these other things didn't happen, would you have this idea today? Would you have gone through so much to ensure that this idea, which frankly does not exist in the hair industry, which is one of the reasons I'm so excited to be like helping and consulting on this project. This does not exist in the hair industry. It's so fucking rad what she thought of. But I said, would you have had this idea? And she kind of looked at me and we went back and forth, but the conclusion came down to no. She never would have had this truly brilliant idea had she not gone through what she went through. So I told her, I said, I know that it sucks. It's hard. You're hurt. You're upset. The relationship like really went down the shitter. Like it's not good. The situation itself sucks. But there is still gratitude to be found in that situation. There are still good things to be found in that situation. And I truly believe, guys, that in every instance and every problem or every situation or confrontation, whatever it is, I truly do believe that some situations have the potential to really tear you down and break you down. I really do. But I think what keeps people from quote unquote being broken or being torn apart or being pulled in so many directions and it feeling so polarizing is the decision that you make internally on how to now deal with that topic, with that situation. How do you choose to deal with it? And at this point, let's just address it. I'm going to use myself as the example here. Obviously, you guys know, a few months ago, almost a few months ago now, it's kind of crazy. I was fired from my job. I obviously did like not really know it was coming. It was kind of like hey, there's a meeting today. You're fired. Thank you so much. And that's not to talk shit, because I also want to be clear on something that a lot of people, they're like, I actually got, oh my gosh, I wonder how quickly I can find this on my phone. I got an anonymous question from someone. And to be clear, I'm not even mad at the person who sent it. You know what I mean? Like, I respect all feelings that come with different things, and it's okay to feel how you feel. So let me see. Oh, honestly, don't know if I can find it this fast, but essentially the message that came through was something along the lines of someone, they were saying, they're like, I'm really disappointed in you and me. They're like, I'm really disappointed in you. Like, you were so, for this brand for so long, and now you have nothing to say about it. Like, here we go. I'm really disappointed at the way you speak about the company you were with. I looked up to you. I'm super sad you have nothing nice to say. But yet you were so in until you were let go. And I'm just kind of heartbroken. Why would you act like this? And when I got that message, I kind of sat there for a little bit and looked at it, and I'm not mad at this person. I'm not upset with them. I harbor no ill will. Like, I truly believe that feelings are feelings. And like, if that's how you feel and that's how you view me, like that's okay. You know what I mean? But I also feel that there is a difference between talking shit and the facts of a situation. Like, facts are facts. These things happened. I was fired. Like, it happened. That's okay. I'm not even mad about that. Do you know what I mean? So I just think it's, when I read that, that's something that I found so interesting. So, and I feel like some things in life like have to be addressed. Do you know what I mean? And that, yes, there comes a fine line of this person's now just talking shit and they're being mean and they're being cruel. Like, ooh, I can't even think. You're stupid and your hair is ugly. Like, okay, well, yeah, you're just talking shit. Like, you're being fucking mean now. As opposed to, this is the situation I was in and this is what I experienced. There is a difference in that. I don't view one as talking shit. So even when you guys, like as my students, you come to me and you're upset, you're angry, you're frustrated, not even at my situation, but your own situations. And you're like, I don't want to talk shit. I don't want to gossip, but and I'm like, whoa, time fucking out. Whoa, hit the brakes. Hold on. You're not talking shit. If it happened, it happened. If you did a client and you fucked it up and now she's mad, it's just a fact. It doesn't make you good or bad at your job. Feelings are feelings. It is what it is. This is a fact of something that happened. If you and a coworker had it out and you did not see eye to eye, that's okay. A fact is a fact of this is what happened. But like I said, even inside of all that, and that's why I want to address this, because I'm going to talk about myself for a minute and how I was fired. And I don't want it to come across as like, ooh, Ani's talking shit. I'm actually not. Like, a fact is a fact of what happened. This is what happened, and that's okay. It's really okay. So, as you guys know, a couple months ago, I was fired, and, in it, even when I got this message of like, oh, like there's no gratitude, you're not being fair, I have a lot of nice things to say, because it was not 5 years of fucking horrible shit day in and day out. Can I look back now? They say like hindsight's 2020. Can I look back now and say like, wow, I didn't realize that this thing that happened, although I accepted it at the time, is something that I as a person would never accept now? Absolutely I can. And I can say that as a fact with 100% certainty. But it doesn't mean I look back and I don't find gratitude inside of every situation, because even situations that I would now look back on and say, I would never allow that to happen again in my life. Guess what? I'm really fucking grateful that it happened, for the fact of I can catch that from a mile away now. I can see that as the day is long. I will never tolerate that sort of behavior again. And I learned these lessons at a young age. I'm only 32, although I know some of these fucking TikTokers are like, so for all the old people in their 30s, I'm like, oh my God. If I consider old to some young kids, although I was born last century, so that's hurtful, but okay. But, even inside of that, I was able to learn some really, really great lessons early on in my age that I now get to take with me literally for the rest of my life. And even inside of that, I did learn so much, and I'm able to find gratitude in that. And even being fired, I get this question a lot of people saying like, how did you move so quick? I would have been devastated. I would have been miserable. I would have laid around for 2 weeks. Even my boyfriend had said, he's like, you gonna take a couple weeks off? I'm like, fuck no, I'm not taking a couple weeks off. Absolutely not. It's like the worst time to take time off. But one of the things is that when I was fired and I left that day, guys, I have to laugh at this. I don't want to. I always wondered, like when people get fired on movies and they like have their box and they pack things into a box and they like leave. I always wondered, I'm like, does that really happen? I'm gonna let you know. It really happens. Literally, as I'm packing up my desk, and I shouldn't laugh at it, but I'm going to because it is funny. I was literally thinking, I was like, oh my God, this is like out of a movie. I'm for sure about to be like escorted out of here like this. I'm packing up all my shit into a box. Anyway, moving on from that. But even with that, I feel like one of the reasons I was able to just move and to keep going is because I made a decision for myself. I can sit here angry. I can be hurt. I can be frustrated. I can be vengeful. I can be hateful. I can be mad. Or I cannot. And I can look at it from a different perspective. A perspective that I get to choose. I get to choose how I now look at this. I get to choose the feeling that I walk away with. And I choose to not walk away with anger. And I choose to not walk away with hate. I choose never to walk away with regret. Like that, I choose to wash my hands. I don't take that with me into the next stage of my life. It's a very conscious choice and decision that I made, that instead of all of those negative feelings, I will walk away with gratitude. Gratitude for everything that I learned. And even in being fired, you know what? Okay. I truly saw how loved I am. And as lame as that sounds, which like I get, like, oh, you learned you're loved, you sometimes like don't know. It's like one of those things, like, I hate to say it, but like, you know, like when someone dies and all of a sudden everyone's like, oh my God, I loved you, I never said it. It almost felt like one of those things where people had actually messaged me and said it felt like there was a death to us. It feels like someone died. And I'm like, well, I didn't die. I'm still here. But that let me know exactly where I stood with so many people. So many people. And that is irreplaceable. That can never be replaced. It can never be touched. It can never be marred. It can never be like poison. Like that to me will stay good for forever. Like that never changes. Do you know what I mean? And so even in every bad situation, I choose to find the good. So let's say for you, it's that you do go through. Actually, I'm going to use a different example. Hold on, wait. I got a message this morning. An artist said to me, she was like, Ani, I'm upset. I'm frustrated. Can I ask your advice? And I'm like, girl, what's going on? Like, tell me. She sent me a pretty like long message. And basically, long story short, she booked a client. Great. Client didn't even care about the money. She cared about nothing. She booked her for a Thursday and then realized she was going to have her kid with there on Thursday. Message the client, say, hey, I'm so sorry. Can you possibly come in on Wednesday? Client's like, yeah, no big deal. Then the client sent a message and said, well, since you moved me, can I get a discount? Oh, and I know some of y'all are in an uproar right now. Ooh, you're mad. Ooh, you're so mad. How dare you ask me for a discount? Whoa. I feel like I need one of those buttons that's like a break sound. Break, hold up, calm down. What is the rule that we always say? Ask. The worst someone can do is say no, and that goes for everyone. And I told the artist, I'm like, I see nothing wrong with her asking that. If you're asking a question, that means you're open to hearing whatever answer comes out of it. If you're asking me a question, you get a very specific answer. You might need to let me know beforehand, because then you might not need, don't ask me that question. But I told her, I said, just, you have a choice now. Do you want to give her a discount? She's like, no. I go, well, then tell her like, hey, thank you for asking. You know, I'm really appreciative of you moving. I don't give discounts with my service. If she chooses to cancel because of that, that's okay. You have now learned a lesson. So what is the lesson and the gratitude you can take away? You need to be more conscious of your schedule. You need to pay a little bit more attention to it. At the end of the day, it was a mistake that you made. Do you know what I mean? And client came back and said, no big deal. Just thought I'd ask. Like literally no big deal. But even in situations that make your heart stop a little bit, that make you a little bit sweaty, all those things, find something good. Because you get to choose how you walk away from something. Even if you're forced to walk away, it literally does not matter. And I have friends, it's so interesting. I used to think that being fired is like not that you look bad, but like, oh, but you know what I mean? Yeah, you kind of look bad. And then I realized how many people get fired all the time, and for like the most wild reasons that I'm like, yeah, I take it back. There's no good, there's no bad, right, wrong, ugly, pretty. It's just kind of like is. But even in a friend of mine who's also been let go, you know, we were talking and this person told me they were just like, you know, I really showed myself what I'm capable of. I truly showed myself what I'm capable of, and I never would have been able to do that or had that opportunity or that chance had I not been let go. And so that's the thing, guys, that at the end of the day, you get to choose. So make the choice. If you go through and you do a client and you fuck up the client and now the client is angry, they're upset, they're mad, they want a discount. I always say, take it as a lesson. What could you learn from this? Okay, you now learned that there's a hole in your contracts. Oh, they're not what you thought they were. You know what? Be grateful that this client, even through a potentially unsavory. Is unsavory a good word to use? Even though they left a potentially unsavory taste in your mouth, which sounds gross as I say it. I feel like I wish I could immediately retract that. An unfortunate situation, at least you now know that the hole is there and you can fix it to then never have this happen again, as opposed to it potentially having been far worse. If you highlighted a client and the tone was off, they didn't like it, they were upset, they were mad, okay, well, you fix it. And at least they gave you a chance to learn. They gave you a chance to grow as an artist. And I don't want to say quote unquote fix, but adjust and course correct the art that you did. They gave you a chance as a business owner to grow, which there's always gratitude to be found behind that of like, you know what? I now get to choose how I handle this. I can be mad, I can be angry, I can upset, and you're dumb because you did this and you didn't do that and you didn't brush it and you, or you can just help them. I think we sometimes forget the power that we hold within ourselves. We choose. You choose every single fucking day. I hate when people are like, I woke up on the wrong side of the bed. No, I'm sorry. I vastly disagree. You were upset for 8 minutes out of the 24 hours this morning. And because I'm not super quick, 24 times 60, there are over 1,400 minutes in a day. You were angry for 10. You were frustrated for 10. I'm so sorry. This was not a bad day. It was a bad moment. So find something to be grateful for. Find a way to have gratitude, because that changes everything. And even gratitude for the people in your life. I'm going to give you, oh my gosh, I know my boyfriend listens to all my podcasts. Hi, this is for him. My boyfriend has a horrible habit. He leaves all the kitchen cabinet doors open, guys. I don't know what it is. If you were to walk into my house at any point in time when he's been around the kitchen, it's like there's a fucking haunting in there. Whew, 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 whew. All the cabinet doors are open. Pantry doors are open. Please, ladies of the house, or even men if you're listening, does your partner do this too? Is this like a guy thing? I don't know. But here's the deal. I close these fucking cabinet doors every day. Honestly, like a few times a day. I walk by, not behind him, but he walks out of the kitchen. I go in, boop, 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 boop. I close them. I don't know why. I have to have them closed. I like it closed. I could be mad. Like, honestly, him and I have spoken about it. And can you please just close the cabinet doors? He's like, oh my gosh, yeah, I'm sorry. Didn't even know I was doing it. Not a big deal. Still does it. That's okay. I could be mad. Or I could actually just be extraordinarily grateful that I don't cook a single fucking thing in this house. I don't cook a single fucking thing. Like, literally, like nothing. I cook nothing. So how about instead of me being frustrated and mad, you're not listening, I said close the cabinet door. How about I just close the stupid door and be stoked that all I have to do is like sit down and a plate of steak and potatoes and rice or breakfast burritos, my favorite kind, like a food that I love just honestly shows up in front of me on a plate literally 7 days a week. I choose to have gratitude for everything he does, as opposed to be frustrated over the most minuscule thing and nitpick a person to fucking death. So I challenge you this week. Where are you doing that? Is there a team member? Is it your spouse? Is it a friend? Where do you know that instead of nitpicking or thinking that they're talking shit or taking their words the wrong way because you're frustrated or in a bad mood, could you maybe just find gratitude? Or hear me out. Is there something in your life where you've been holding on to resentment and frustration and anger and I'm a firm believer in karma, guys. And everyone says karma's a bitch. Karma is not a bitch. Karma is a mirror reflection of how you treat other people. So what I always say, karma's not a bitch. It's a mirror. You see exactly what you give and you get what you give. So with that, is there a situation that you've been harboring negativity, frustration, any kind of negative feeling that maybe just take a step back and try to find some gratitude in it to allow yourself to just move on? And I want to be clear. Finding gratitude in a situation does not make the situation okay. That does not mean you are condoning what happened. It just means you are not damning yourself to live in a place of always being mad. If you dealt, and I've said it before, if you dealt with a toxic person or like a narcissist, they don't care. They've probably already moved on because that's how they are. You, on the other hand, are still holding on to everything. Why? Why are you doing this to yourself? Even if the gratitude you have is, you know what? I learned a very hard and valuable lesson that I will take with me till the end of my days. Good. Let that then be the lesson that you have gratitude for. I've met many of people where that is the lesson. That's the gratitude that I have of, you know what? Thank you for being exactly who you are. Thank you for being exactly who you are. And I will walk away knowing how I don't want to behave. That sounds fucked up. It's true. Come on. You've met those crazy people before. So that's just kind of what I challenge you guys to do, because that's it for everyone who's been asking me left and right. How did you do it? How did you move so quickly? How did you? Because I chose to. I chose it. I made a conscious effort that I will not leaving this building, leaving my office here today, that day, I will not walk away with hatred, anger, or resentment. I accept the situation exactly as it is. I am grateful for every single thing that I learned, grateful to the depths of my soul for every single student that I met. Like, my God, if there is one thing I'm grateful for, it's the thousands of artists that I've trained, and for all of my current clients inside of the salon and my students that I still coach and train and consult with. Like, damn it, did I meet some phenomenal, amazing humans. So I choose to leave with gratitude than letting any other feeling tear me down from the inside, because no one deserves that part of me. No one deserves to have the power over me to tear me down. You know why no one has the power? Because I choose to not give it away. So this weekend, take some time and think about it. What situation are you holding on to that you need to find some gratitude in to just be able to wash your hands and let go? And honestly, I would love to hear from you. Shoot me a DM on Instagram. We'll keep it private. No names, no nothing. Like, it's fine. But I would just love to hear if this episode has helped you. So with that being said, thank you so much for being here on another episode of Coach Ani, the podcast, episode 10. This month, I have some very exciting episodes in the works. I cannot tell you what they are. All I can say is, oh my gosh, they are very exciting. So stay tuned. Once again, take some time this weekend, think about what I talked about, and shoot me a message on Instagram, guys. I can't wait to hear from you. And I'll see you next week.